All right. All right.
Hey,
So,
Carice.
yay. All right. So, we're going to get started because we want to get right into this. And I want to first just thank you for blessing us with your presence
Oh, wow.
because I know, but they have no idea.
They
So,
don't.
they have no idea. And even me, I'm still from Grand Rapids,
Hey,
living in
Angela.
So again, they're really about to get some work today, and we're really going to cover some basics. However, it's very important because these are things that we all need to know. We all need to be very clear on. Just a nice general consensus on things I think we need to talk about in this, as far as when it pertains to women's health. All right, so we're going to start off by letting Miss Tiffany introduce herself. So y'all can see that it takes work to get to be this amazing. So go ahead.
Okay, so I'm Tiffany. I am a mother of five. I'm a midwife. I have studied the womb in various capacities. I've been a doula, lactation counselor, all of that stuff. And yeah, I'm recently licensed in Grand Rapids, so I'm practicing home birth here. That is a safe alternative to going to the hospital. Just a plug because I'm biased about birth spaces. So if you guys have any questions about me or my background, feel free to ask. I'm not really good at introducing myself.
All right, yeah, and I mean, I just have to say, like, seeing Tiffany, she been winning. She been winning, y'all. However, to see her win the way she winning, like it's one for the community because when you have somebody who really has a heart like she does and is looking out for the community, like that is so rare these days. Like seriously, because you got so many people taking advantage. So today we're going to be speaking about the misinformation about women's health. I know myself, I've fallen into some misinformation. And I know I was talking in a previous live about how my health had just went down with the diet that I was taking for myself and the vegan diet. And I was telling you guys very transparent about how, my cycle got messed up. And I literally just had to sit down and be like, who do I know that knows wombs? Like, who do I know that is just like on it when it comes to this? Because I really need some guidance right now. I need some help. And of course, Miss Tiffany Townsend was over there climbing the ladder of success, and I was like, I gotta ask her. I gotta be real with her, and I gotta consult with her. And since I've been consulting with her and staying according to what she's giving me, my period has been regular. And I just have to say, it has changed my life because I was hurt over here, y'all. I was really hurt. I was really hurt. So, okay, we're gonna start off with we're gonna ask questions, but please feel free to put your questions in the chat as well. However, we do have some topics that we definitely want to get through within this live. So let's get started. All right. So when it comes to women's health, I know that a lot of information that a lot of women today, no, I'm not vegan. No, I'm not still vegan. I know a lot of women today get a lot of their information from men. And it's, it's not to say that it's like the most terrible thing. It's just to say that it's so much information going on right now, and a lot of it is incorrect. I have grown in this health community hearing, a woman's cycle, she's only supposed to bleed a spoonful of blood. I've heard that women are not supposed to have cycles. I've heard that it's evil. I've heard some really crazy things, and I've heard other women say this who are, in these sister circles and promoting womb care. I've heard other women say this. So, you know,
Yeah, so one of the like traditional healers that I sat under, she was talking about how throughout history we've demonized cycling, we've demonized the shedding of the womb, and that the moment that women started to believe that it was demonized, they stopped offering their blood back to the earth, and that's when we started to see a lot of the issues because the earth is like, hey, we have a way that we work together, like women in the dirt. And if you remove blood from that aspect, like that is removing sacred, holy tradition and ceremony. And so let's just say that like our ancestors did not look at the womb and menstruation and all of these things in that way. It was something that they rejoiced in because they got to get out of the house, go away, be by themselves, and be with like the earth.
Mhm.
So yes, we're supposed to bleed. Of course, it's not a teaspoon. And also, when we were kind of chatting, I told you that it's out of place for a man or a person identifying as a man to try to educate someone about a wound that they're not familiar with carrying, right? So, and if you guys have kids, I don't know if I'm the one to like just a forewarning, like I don't know if I'm the one that you want. Maybe you want to put in headphones or something just because the nature of the way that I speak is probably going to be offensive to your children. And I just say that to say like our world when we think about men interacting with womb, like it's a lot of us like having sex and we're not having climaxes, we're not orgasming, and these are the men that are teaching us about our wombs, and that's just crazy and it's ass backwards. Back before we were disconnected, one of the big issues that we have is that as a community we're so disconnected from the womb, but the womb is the only way for life to come forth, and so there has to be some reverence there. um and so yeah, like it's really important to connect with your womb and to have honor. But as we're growing, our daughters is where I was going with this. Our daughters need to be learning about their wombs before they're menstruating.
Yeah.
It's something that they should look forward to. I know for me, I learned about my cycle at the library. Something happened. I was like, bruh, let me make sure I'm not gonna get in trouble for this. I messed around and broke my pussy. Like, but for real. So I went to the
That's true.
library and I was like, oh, okay, this is normal. But like my daughters see me like, hey, mommy, like, do you need a pad, or like, are you okay?
Right.
Are you drinking your warms? Are you keeping your body in the state? Because they're already knowing. I'm talking to them like, hey, this is what happens when you like begin to enter womanhood. This is something that we celebrate. I can't wait to celebrate like your transition. Just like I couldn't celebrate when you were born. I couldn't wait to celebrate. I couldn't wait to celebrate when you started walking. Like that's a continuation of the celebrations we have.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I know me personally, I've been purposing to connect to that. And I'm gonna say this: since I've been working with you, I will say that for the first time ever in my life, this cycle has been like I've had that connection like back with the earth. I've been connecting like that, and that's the first time I ever did that. And it is something different than just, oh, this is so inconvenient. You know what I mean? Like that whole stigma around it. So, what I would say, what is a healthy cycle in your opinion? Like from what you've seen from your experience, what is a healthy cycle?
Yeah, so a healthy cycle is going to vary. Most of us menstruate or shed with the lunar cycle. So usually it's like every 27 to 31 days. Most people are 28 days. And a healthy cycle is usually about 4 days. 1 and 2 are heavy. Day 3, you start lightening up. Day 4, it's like you're wearing a little bit of a pad just in case because you're not sure. Like you might still be bleeding, but probably not. And then that's just a generalization. I think saying what is normal is really hard because all of our womb conditions are not the same. And so some of us have a little bit more stagnation where we need to bleed a little bit more, and we need to make some changes like throughout the cycle to make sure that there's improvement with the next one. So normal, that can vary from womb to womb, but typically that's what we see.
Got you. Mm. So okay, so you're saying the flow will go from like a heavier to like a light, and then days. Like how many days are you seeing typically? Will it last?
So typically 4 days. Like the first 2 days are the heavy days. The third day is like, okay, this is like my period, and then the fourth day is gonna start to get light.
Got you, got you. Okay, yeah. And you know what? That's so interesting because that's what I experienced for the most part, like throughout my life. And so, the whole you're supposed to only bleed like a teaspoon thing, like that is a real thing in the community, and it's people really say that, and I'm
And
like, I've never done
it's
that.
it's crazy. I mean, most people there are people who do bleed lighter, but most people are not bleeding 1 tablespoon when they're shedding a uterine lining. Like I need you to understand what's happening when
Yes.
we're on our cycle. When we're on our cycle, our body is basically like, girl, we're not pregnant. Like, oh, so let me shed this house and create a new house for the next cycle in case a baby comes. Like, literally, you're shedding the inside of your uterus so that if you bring forth life, it is in a nutritive state for it to implant there. And so, yes, we're going to bleed. Like, inside of a uterus is being shed and recreating itself. And so that's how powerful that organ is that Like it can do those things, but yes, bleeding might be more than a tablespoon. Typically, it is.
Dang.